Hey everybody, Kellen Harnett with you. Hope you're having a good day. We're getting started here. We've got some snow across the area. Back out here with you in the Wave Now desk, and we've got a lot to talk about today. We've had snow falling. We still have snow falling across a good chunk of the area. Some folks just getting settled in here, so we'll let some folks get on. The Wave Weather app is just about to alert all of our subscribers that we're on here. We'll let those folks jump in as well. I want to hear how much snow you've got. And it can be an approximate total. It's always hard to measure when we've got snow and ice on the ground anyway. And you never measure snow directly into the grass, right? Like the best way to do it's on a snowboard where you get a fresh measurement. Nonetheless, I'll go through some of the totals that we have. A lot of folks jumping in and some folks chiming in. And we will go through a lot of graphics coming up. Several hundred folks jumping in on, well, we've got a number of Facebook pages going here. So several on my page, and then we've got several others on the Wave page, the Wave Weather page. So appreciate you guys jumping in. For those that are watching on the news app, and there goes the weather app, welcome in. We do have the winter storm underway, so to speak, that we have been tracking over the course of the last several days. So we've talked about it. 2 in 1 week. Winter Storm 2.0. How about that for a Friday night? Did it keep you inside tonight? Or are you one of the ones on your mobile devices out and about, just trying to get a weather update? All right, well, we're going to go through all of that. So let's get started by looking at some of the SkyTrack cameras from across the area. Again, snow's still falling. That is Simpsonville. So we've got snow falling in a number of locales. There's Bardstown. The snow has eased. The roads still somewhat snow covered down there. I mean, we had that coming down at a pretty good clip between about 4 and 7 o'clock. There's the camera finally starting to ease a little bit. I had that one aimed into the snow. That is Huber's there, Orchard and Winery Starlight, so it's dark up there, at least where I have the camera pointed. I sort of tilted it down. The city skyline in view. That was not the case earlier. There's the junction. Main roads are wet. Temperatures are in the upper 20s. Going to stay there all night. Now, obviously, if they haven't been touched, it looks like New Albany. That's rough. Brent Street over at Paristown. That's in front of the cafe, Louisville Stoneware, snow covered. This is E-Town along the Dixie. It is not snow covered, but still snowing. All right, you can see some of the yellow flashing lights. Road crews are out and about. All right, let's take a look at some of your photos. We always appreciate those. This coming in from PRP. Joyce said, hey, it's still coming down here. Got a nice coating of snow on top of the snow and ice that they had earlier in the week. And Ann Merriman says, E-Town, about the same. Coating of snow, anywhere between 2.5 to 3.5 inches of snow down that way. So when we look at the road impacts now, most roads, especially the untreated ones, are snow covered. All right, it'll stay that way for tonight and probably early tomorrow morning, but things will ease. The good news is those temperatures are not plunging tonight. If we were going down into the teens tonight or single digits, oh, we'd have big problems on our hands. Good news is that is not the case. All right, so we'll stay in the mid to upper 20s tonight and should push near freezing, if not above freezing, by Sunday. So that's some good news there. So a lot of melting will take place by the end of the weekend. But I tell you what, you get that thick layer of ice that we have from earlier in the week, tough to get that to go away anytime too soon. All right, these are additional snowfall reports. At the top of the 7 o'clock hour, and we only get reports from the airport, which is the official measurement, and we could have a whole discussion on that would last weeks. It's changed. It's been there. It's too hot during the day. It's too hot at night. The airport's not a good place, yada, yada. This goes on across the country with discussions like this. Bottom line is it's the official measuring spot for the climate data for Louisville, and most cities are at the airport. Is it a heat island? Of course it is. That's what we're dealing with. So here we are at the top of the 7 o'clock hour, 2.1 inches of snow for Louisville. Now, we've got a little more than that in the weather garden here. It's sort of enclosed in, but I measured closer to 3 outside earlier. There's Doe Valley. You get down into parts of Breckenridge, Hardin County, Big Clifty, coming in with 4 to 4.5 inches. Corydon, 2.5. Ferdinand, 3.3 inches of snowfall. Well, when you look at our snowfall map that we have, we sort of broad brushed every county with 3 to 5, 2 to 4 is what we said yesterday. 2 to 4, 3 to 5, it's just kind of same thing. So that 3 to 5 inch total, we just painted everybody in. Fairly uniform snowfall coming in across the area. Get into some of those enhanced bands. You might have picked up the 4-inch total, maybe 4.5. You didn't get any banding or no band at all came across. You might get closer to that 2-inch total, all right? So that's where we're at on the snowfall totals. All right, as far as the winter storm warning, we still have that in place until 7 o'clock, but things are easing. I'm going to get to the radar here, so hang on. You can see that snow gradually easing as it moves off to the east. So we will see the decrease in the snow, and especially that intensity of the snow coming in through the rest of the night, all right? So that's what we're looking at. Winter storm warnings all the way down to Atlanta. How about that? Atlanta. Can you imagine what it's like there in a winter storm? Well, for us, we can handle this little bit of snow, especially after what we've had. I'm going to keep the radar up there. We have the storm tracker that is out and about as well. Let me bring that up for you so you can see what it's like with the storm tracker pushing through the area. Here it is. These are some of the side roads that we have ongoing right now. And we're listening in. I'm not sure. Mark Wilson was behind the wheel. I'm guessing Mark is still with us here. And can we talk to you a minute, Mark?
Can you hear me, Kevin?
I got you loud and clear, pal.
You.
Thank you.
Hello.
Now, you have just left the station not long ago, I know, because I saw you in here eating pizza, which was nice of them to bring in for us, right? It's been a week, hasn't it?
And this has been a very long week from a newsman's perspective. So yes, it's very nice of them to bring that. This is, where are we? I think this is Preston right now.
Okay. And I saw you earlier helping dig a person out. So I know we have had a few problems with today's snow, but the fact is you're a storm chaser. You've chased tornadoes. We went out to the floods in eastern Kentucky. You're no stranger to the weather. Talk about how this week has been, some of the things you've seen, and then tell us about the roads tonight.
This week, I'd say the Sunday storm was probably obviously a little more intense than today, just because of the freezing rain and the ice situation. This is more just the heavy snow. Just be more careful. It's like we were driving around all day today. Went to Bullitt County, back up through Mount Washington, Shepherdsville. We didn't see a lot of accidents. We saw a few people just going slower, like really slow. Like some people going 15, 20 miles an hour. And then, like you saw if you're watching at 7, when we got back to Louisville, we saw the snowbanks along the edges are really where people are getting stuck because they're going faster because the road is clear, but then they hit those banks and they spin out, they get stuck up on the ice shelf, and that's the guy we saw, his Jeep got stuck there because he has a low riding car. So luckily we were able to help him out, but the roads, they're not great, but they're passable, I'd say. You just really have to be careful. That's pretty much what we've been doing.
So I'm showing you here with the shovel, shoveling this Jeep out. You had another guy in front of the Jeep. Was he trying to pull the car out? What was he doing?
That white truck, they had a tow strap.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
The Jeep, and then we were trying to shovel. That's the white truck's the one that pulled him out, and we had the storm tracker parked in front of him. But he was the Jeep is that black car. He was so high up on the ice, we had to dig out a bunch to even get him out of there. And that's a problem. You hit those, and you think it's easy to get out of, but people were just getting stuck on them.
Yeah. And boy, you see that where these snow plows have pushed the snow. It's not just snow. It's that chunky ice, which was the sleet and freezing rain and the snow that we had from Sunday and Monday, just like you see on the side of the road there. But if you cross an intersection or try to get into your garage or driveway or neighborhood or parking lot, and that's been piled up, boy, getting out from behind that, if you don't dig it out, you're in trouble. The car is sort of rendered useless on top of something like that.
Exactly. And I'll tell you today, I don't think I've gone over 40 on any of these roads. Even we were on, except for 65, but we were on 44 out there, Bullitt County, Eastern Parkway, like roads where you normally go a little faster. We haven't been over 40 just because even if you can't, it doesn't feel slick when you're driving, but the black ice and just stuff you might not see underneath,
Well, and that's a good point because some of these roads you're on now, where are you exactly now? Do you know the crossroads?
I'm on West Kentucky. We're passing Logan Street Market, so I'm heading up towards the Highlands a little bit.
Okay. And were these roads clear earlier, and this is the snow from today, or is this a problem that persisted all week?
This road, West Kentucky has been like this all week because I take this way home. It has been, it looks like ice underneath, and then from where people drive, there's like these ruts that people have basically carved out with their wheels. Like you can kind of see it right now. And this is how it's been since Sunday. Like I have not seen the pavement. I haven't seen a plow. This is just one of those streets where there's enough people driving on it. They kind of wear a little track into it,
I tell you, it's going to take a long time for this to melt. I mean, one day at 34, which is what we have for Sunday, is not going to do it. I don't know if school's going to make it back on Monday. I swear, with roads like this, you've got to have some pretty warm temperatures to take care of this.
Yeah, I don't think almost all of these roads were this part of town, up in the Highlands, Germantown, these just smaller side streets, but they're still pretty heavily trafficked. They're all like this, and you're right. They're not going to get cleared because I don't know what the plows can even do at this point because it's so frozen over. It's become like ice.
It's sort of adhered to the road at this point.
Ice. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, there's no getting under it.
That corner again on right off Eastern going to Poplar because there's a hill. And even when we were leaving, we saw a lot of people hitting that corner fast and just getting stuck. And I think it's things like that that are going to cause people problems.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how the roads fare through the weekend. I mean, we will see some melting take place, but boy, these roads you're showing us now, they're going to require a whole lot of attention, and that means a lot of the salt has to go down. You've got to have temperatures that are warming up, and sunshine would help out a lot, but I'm afraid we're not offering a whole lot in the way of sunshine. So, the forecast isn't necessarily the best for snow melting weather. I don't see a whole lot. There goes one, but I haven't seen a whole lot of traffic out. So that's probably some good news.
Yeah, it seems like people are heeding the warnings. Obviously, we've been saying it on air. Don't get out unless you have to. I know people have to work. Some things you can't control. But, at night especially, the roads are pretty barren besides the highways. So that's good to see. You still see some people stuck and some people braving the weather. And I do want to say just quickly, too, because we've been out in this all week, everybody should say a huge thank you to any snowplow drivers or any of those guys you see, because it is hard work. We were at the salt barn last night, and they've been on, I think, 12-hour shifts.
Oh, yeah. They just have worked around the clock all for the last, when did we start this mess? Last Sunday
night.
Yeah. So, they have been hard at it.
Man, because driving is exhausting. It makes you exhausting in this because you got to pay extra attention. You're going slower. Everything takes longer. So I don't do what they do, but huge shout out to them. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. Now, are you coming up? Was this off of Frankfurt?
No, still. What is this road?
Oh, like near Goss. I know where you are. You're coming up toward the Monkey Wrench and Barrett Avenue, straight up ahead, right?
Yeah, this is Barrett up here, and there's, formerly V-Grits. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, that's what I was known as, the Monkey Wrench. And then the Fish House is on the right. I see where you are.
Fish House, yes. People know the Fish House. It's right here. And this Barrett's
the Morton Center's right there, yeah.
Driving this. Yeah. And you can see this intersection. You can see they've finally cleared where the plows have been pushing everything just to the side at the cross streets. So they're a little more navigatable, I guess, or however you want to say it.
Yeah, I was curious. I wonder if are people out in Nulu tonight? I mean, are people like, you know what? I'm not staying in. I'm going to get out and go have a drink.
I think there are people. When we came through Germantown, there were people going to Hauck's. There were people going to the Post, and I thought I might go check out Bardstown. Actually, that's a good point. I imagine people have been tired of being in their house. So.
All right. Well, we'll stay with you. You're coming up not too far from Bardstown, so we'll hang with you here.
There's something right here, Kevin.
Oh, what we got?
Walking.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Dark clothes too, hard to see.
That's the thing. People are being forced to walk in the streets, and it's kind of an interesting side effect of the snow because no one has cleared their sidewalks.
Well, and they're impossible to clear, to be honest. I tried it, but to get out there with outside of a jackhammer, there's no way. Once people have walked on it once, it's just like that road. There's no getting it off. It becomes adhered to the cement, and it's like, well,
yeah.
Without a blowtorch, we're hosed.
From what I get at, it's actually like a city ordinance that you're required to clear your property sidewalks or your business. But as you can see, a lot of people don't do that. So it's unfortunately forces people to walk in the street, which can be dangerous, especially at night when the ice and snow and everything. But luckily, we haven't heard of anybody getting injured that way.
Right. Yeah. Well,
this street, I believe this is,
it's like Eastern, right? Like you came up, turned.
This is the one that goes past Tyler Park. I think it's Candlewood, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
But you can see how slow this guy in front of me is driving. He's these smaller sedans. Mostly the cars that I've seen stuck are low to the ground, smaller four-door cars. I don't think they're four-wheel drive. We're a little lucky. We have the Storm Tracker. It's heavy and it gets really good traction, so we're able to make it over most obstacles. But unfortunately, some people in these lower to the ground cars, they get stuck up in this slush and muck.
Well, especially the rear-wheel drive cars, they're terrible in any of this, whether it's ice or snow, and both going and stopping can be a problem.
See, we're going 16 miles an hour right now, which is very slow, but obviously safe. So, but again, it takes, if your drive takes 20 minutes, you're going to want to maybe give yourself 30, 40, because you never know. So that's what I would just tell people if they got to get out tonight. But I know you said it's ending soon. I'm not sure exactly the timeline on that, but
Yeah, you should have noticed it sort of letting up. How would you describe the snowfall where you are? I'm looking at the radar here, but we're still seeing some snow, but it's nothing like it was coming down earlier.
yeah, it's let up. It's still, I'd say it's moderate. It's not. It doesn't look super heavy. It's definitely still snowing, but it's not as.
Yeah, I can see it a little
thick as
better
it
in
was
your
earlier.
headlights there, so I'll show that. Yeah.
Yeah, try and give you a better view with the dash cam here. But it's still a pretty steady rate, but I don't know if it's sticking anymore to the roads, because a lot of these roads are wet and I think the pavement is warmer than the air.
Well, what happens is the wetness of the road, we're still in the upper 20s, and the pavement temperature is right around there too. But the effectiveness of the salt still works when temperatures are in the 20s. So even though we're getting snow, as long as the rate doesn't pick up of the snowfall, then the product that's on the road can take care of it, or even the moisture in that case. It's not cold enough to refreeze, but it's not snowing heavily enough to create a coating of snow on the road, if you will. So.
Gotcha. And now we just turn on the Eastern, so you can see Eastern's done pretty well. It's
one of the main
camera's a little
roads. Yeah,
dark. There we go.
it's always a
Eastern has
beautiful
been cleared.
sight.
Yes, I'd say since like Thursday, I think it got pretty cleared, because so many people have been driving on it and the plows have been out here. But all these side streets, it's just still a mess.
We've got some folks chiming in here. We're going to keep your camera on, Mark, while you make your way up to Eastern. You'll turn left onto Bardstown Road. Anita's saying, are we done yet? And sooner or later, we will be done. Let's get this out of here. We've got another very minor chance on Monday. Angela says hello. We say hello back. Emily says, Kevin, no more snow, please. I'm afraid the winter is young. Now, are you a snow lover, Mark?
Yes, and I've told people that of all the severe weather, I think snow I enjoy the most. It's fun to be in, but sometimes it's fun to be in, but I'd say I do enjoy the snow. It's very pretty. Obviously, it can cause problems and it can be dangerous if you get severe ice, but
yeah, ice is no fun.
I enjoy snow. Yeah. Now here's Bardstown. It's pretty clear, if you can see there.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if people are out and about. There's decent traffic. You've got a string of cars there.
Yeah, and the buses are running. Once we turn left here, we'll go down towards, we'll cross Grinstead, kind of more towards the bars. You can see there's still this kind of middle portion where it's not been plowed. It's just, again, people create little lanes and tracks. That's pretty much how most of the city looks.
Right.
And there's a couple people walking.
Yeah, and temperatures tonight, right now it's 29 degrees. There is no wind, so it's not like a huge wind chill. But boy, it'll be nice to get everything back up and running. And I'm sure people that have had the kids home for weeks now are like, come on, when are we going to get some melting? We got to get these kids out of the house.
They have truly gotten a extended Christmas break, so that is very good for them.
Yeah, right. I remember being a kid thinking this is great. Now, it reminds me, going down Bardstown Road, you're not too far from Cherokee Park. I know the park closes at 11 o'clock, I think. So will you do us a favor as you ride by? Will you swing up into Cherokee Park?
Yeah, I drove up there this morning. And the scenic route is very covered in snow. It's pretty slick still. I don't think they plowed that, where the walkway and the cars and all that. It's still pretty treacherous, but I saw people making it through in their cars.
And just to give people a reference, you're moving past Mid-City Mall. I see Skyline to the left, Ramsey's on the right there. So,
yes.
Yeah, Bardstown Road. I mean,
I was going to say, are you a snow lover, Kevin? I hear you forecast a lot of snow.
Yeah. I love all weather and I really do like all seasons, but it doesn't take me long to get tired of this stuff. I prefer severe. If I'm going to forecast something, I like severe weather probably the best in terms of the active weather. Here's the deal. Snow is like a hurricane. You have to keep up with it every day as it approaches and try to nail it exactly right. And then it takes forever to get out of here and go away, and the residual impact by it, just like we've seen this week. So it's just like, oh my gosh. I mean, we've been at the station this week for a long, long period of time. And we came back from vacation early, and it's just like, come on, is the winter over yet? No, it's not. In fact, it's just beginning. And then that's enough to just make you beat your head into this desk.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you have a rough estimate of how many hours you all have worked, like collectively? Because I know Brian was in there. You've been in there constantly.
Yeah, Carson was in here forever. Tawana. Now the lucky one is Ryan. He's on vacation, but I think his vacation got cut short too, so he didn't get stuck in this mess. So he had to come back home a little early. But I don't know collectively how much time. I know we've, there have been several nights this week that one or more of us have had to spend the night here. So that happens when.
Here's a.
Yeah, good shot.
Now, I was trying to give you an idea of the snowfall. See, it's still coming down pretty good.
Yeah, and, we're not out of that yet. We still will have this light to, at times, moderate snow probably. I mean, we're 9 o'clock. We said it'd be easing by 10, down to flurries after that. So another hour of this, you can get another half inch of snow pretty easily.
And, and another thing we've noticed today, you see right here.
Oh, hang on. Let me swing it.
The buses are once again running.
The buses, yeah.
Yes, here's a TARC bus here because they had shut them down Sunday, but it's good to see them running because I know a lot of people rely on those.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, for folks that have to get to and from, that's a must-have. And it's not easy even getting to those bus stops because just like the cars have been getting stuck, you see the mounds that people have to climb over to get even into the shelter.
Yeah, I do not envy them. That would be tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Go swing down towards Cherokee here.
Okay.
I'm not sure if people have questions or what the audience looks
like.
Well,
if you want to stay on, I'll read through some of them and we'll see what they're saying. So I'll just keep your mic open. And if you need to go, just let me know and we'll check back in, however you want to do it. Here is,
all right.
Excuse me. I've been battling a cold here. Michael is saying 4 inches in East Louisville, really still coming down now. So 4 inches of snow. Here's Kathy saying around 2 near Fredericksburg, Indiana. The Christmas lights on my sidewalk are nearly covered. That's what Olivia said. An additional 3 inches in the Heritage Creek neighborhood on top of the 10 to 12 from the previous storm. And that was from Angie Cecil Smallwood. Here's another comment. Jackie sort of saying what you're showing us, Mark, and that is that she just got home saying the roads are not friendly. Stay home, guys. Stephanie says hello.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, right. And I'm looking at the road you're on. It doesn't look the best either. That's Grinstead going down as you work your way toward Frankfort. Stephanie saying hello from Bardstown. Let's see. I'm just going through your comments here. Kathy, hello from Trimble County. Roads are awful. So I'm seeing on Facebook. Well, if it's on Facebook, it must be true. Right?
Kevin, one thing we did see, I saw this earlier on one of the local community pages. I follow a lot of them because we work in the news. Down in Brandenburg, I believe it was Kentucky 1238, which is, I think, a state route. There were severe, slide-offs. People were completely trapped, tow trucks getting stuck.
Oh, wow. It
looked like a mess down there. And that was similar to what we had seen on Route Road and some of these other hilly roads around Louisville. So, it's not just in the metro, obviously. It's people getting these outlying areas where these roads go through valleys and dips and hills. Those get really treacherous, especially on the hills.
Well, even worse in some of those areas. I grew up in Nelson County. So, 2 inches of snow, you are out of school for days. It just takes a lot more Louisville has a lot more resources than some of those outer counties that have to get through those windy county roads. And it takes a lot of time and a lot of, product. And to your point, Steve Givens, I popped his comment up while you were talking about Brandenburg. He said he's cleared his driveway twice today, covered again in Brandenburg. He's estimating about 4 inches from today, probably 4 inches from today. Here's a question.
See, I'm from Ohio, so I love snow.
Well, I was going to say that earlier. I was like, it's no wonder you chose snow as your favorite weather, being from a little further north. Here's Cameron saying these two storms the beginning of an active stream of winter weather through the end of the month. Well, it's certainly possible. Cameron, next week we've got 2 small chances. One is Monday, another one in the wake of the front, meaning in the colder Arctic air to get some light snow showers. That doesn't look too impressive, but even a half inch of snow on top of cold Arctic air is a problem. It doesn't go away. We do see a slight warm up by the end of next week, right before the holiday, MLK Jr. Day. But then it looks like a rain or snowmaker moves in. Will it be rain or will it be snow? I don't know this far out. Too early to tell. But it's something that we're watching. Here's more totals. Rusty saying 3 to 4 inches in Scottsburg. There are 4.5 to 5 here in E-Town from Chris Parker. Emily says, yay, melted all away. Right.
Yay, melted all the way.
Going to take a little bit of time, I'd say, for that to happen. How about Seymour? Let's check in with Amy Sweet. About 3 to 4 inches today in Seymour. Not as bad as the Monday stuff. No, we knew it was not going to be that bad. This snow was somewhat easier to predict. Now, are you headed into the park here?
Yeah, we're going to take a little gamble, see what the park looks like. So as you can see, these are completely covered and tracked.
Right. And I know the Storm Tracker has very bright side lights too.
Yes, it does.
So
if you turned off Lexington, so I can give you a look here.
All right. Well, just be careful. Don't try to operate too many things and drive.
You can there's down in the creek a little bit.
All right.
You can see it coming down. We're probably the only ones in this park, I'll be honest with you.
Well, I was curious. I didn't know how long they sledded at night,
The guy the other day told us they stayed till 9. I'm not sure if anybody's here.
All right. Well, we'll find out. You're not too far from it.
And it doesn't, I don't feel like we're sliding. It's just very bumpy, It's not really, I don't feel too much slide. It's just you get in these ruts and you're just bouncing all over. And this is where the loop begins up here. So it's one way, so we got to go up the hill.
No, there's no turning back now.
We'll be all right. We drove this down to Spencer County the other day, and we were all right.
Well, that Storm Tracker will go anywhere.
Hey,
all right.
It's got big enough wheels.
That's right. Those wheels, I wish I had a picture of them to show everybody here. They look, how would you describe them? Like right out of...
They're like...
daggers.
I don't know, like Mad Max or something.
Yes. I picked those puppies out, by the way.
You picked them out?
I did. Yeah. They had regular Ford wheels on them. I was like, we can't have a big old Storm Tracker with these wheels. We need better wheels. So
we need some mean looking things.
Yeah, we need that. We need lights. We need flashing lights. You got to make it look the part, right?
Yes, and the amber lights, they're actually very helpful for safety when we're pulled over. I like using them a lot because it keeps us visible.
Well, that's the thing.
Hill. It doesn't. Yeah.
Oh, that's the sled hill.
There are a couple people sledding.
Well, let's go up there. Let's take a look at them. Kick your light on. Give them some light.
Oh.
They won't mind.
Let me see here.
As long as they're sledding.
It's hard to see.
Oh, I see them way in the distance there.
Oh, no, those are sledders.
Yeah, I figured there would be people up there.
They look at them. There they are.
Oh, that's going to be good. Let's see how they do. Oh, I thought he was going to fall. They're climbing the hill. Oh, it must be
They
slick
probably
to
think
try
I'm
to
a
get
cop.
up it.
I turned the light on.
Well, I mean, it's not illegal
I'll
to
go-
sled.
I know. I'll go up to the top here. That's fun. I didn't know people stayed out when it was dark.
Oh, that's
man,
that's the
there's 10
best.
people out here.
And then another thing you see at the end of the day up on the top of the hill are all the broken sleds.
Oh yes, we'll see if there's any of those. We actually made it up this hill pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's actually several people up there.
Man, they are braving the nighttime and the cold. This is extreme sledding.
Well, that's the beautiful part
Did you,
about this is it's not that cold. I mean, 28, this is as warm as it's been all day. So, I mean, if you're going to go, hey, today, tomorrow, Sunday, not bad days.
Did you grow up sledding, Kevin?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love it. And we would do it at night, too. We'd take, I don't think you can build it. There they go down the hill. Look at that. Is that a dog? They got the dog out the course. It's a dog hill, so you might as well take the dog.
Yes.
How fun.
There's a dog. Yeah.
Talk about getting some
There he is.
exercise. Getting up the hill is always the battle, especially as you get older and fatter like me. That's the hard part. Going down is the fun
Down
part.
is fun. It's the speed. So we got 2 guys there, a couple guys there. Oh yeah.
All right. Oh, they've got the tube. Is that a tube? They went with the tube. I always like to see what people decide to sled with.
Yes, he does.
All right. So they said, you know what? We don't need the disc. We don't even need the sled. Let's get the tube out and see how this goes. All right.
I'm gonna ask this guy how long they stay out here normally.
All right. Well, I know the park closes at midnight, or I think it's
How you doing?
11.
How late do you guys normally stay out? I'm just curious. Hi, Pop. All night? 10, 11?
I don't know. I don't know the schedule.
I don't think there is one. We didn't know if anybody was going to be over here, though. It's kind of funny.
I mean, ask you and it should be more snow, right?
No, I think the snow's going to be ending. So,
this is it.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, have fun. It looks fun. The dog loves it.
Oh, there they are up at Cherokee Park, people and pets alike. And what they say, they were just going to stay out for a little while. I think the parks actually close at 11 is when they try to have it wrapped up.
He was asking if there was going to be more snow. I said, I believe it's ending in the next few hours.
Right. Yeah, it's tapering down even as we speak. All right. Well, Mark, we appreciate that. I was curious if anybody would be up there, so that gives us an idea about that. Again, checking in with folks online. Some folks are talking about their own neighborhoods. Nicolette says Cherry Village subdivision in Okolona as elderly folks. It's pure ice with small hills. They need salt and plow ASAP. So if anybody's watching and can help out over there, let's do our civic duty and go help out the Cherry Village subdivision in Okolona. That's be a good
Cherry
idea.
Village, you said?
Yeah, CHERI.
Interesting. See, I don't know if you just saw that. I hit a pretty big rut, kind of lost traction for a minute. So that's what you got to watch out for.
I missed it, but I'm sure the viewers saw it. I was going through the comments here.
We were bouncing around.
Yeah, be careful. And it's still, I mean, the snow is still coming down. And once you get off the top of that hill, I guess there's no one else. It's not like people are just hanging out in the park. You're either there to sled or you're not.
Yeah, I think those might be the only folks that we see.
All right. Well, Mark, listen, I'll let you get back down the hill. Be safe. I'll keep an eye on the storm tracker here. We may pop back in before we hang it up. I'm going to go through a little more weather data, and I may check back in with you before you head home.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Talk to you in just a few. Appreciate that. Mark Wilson from aboard the Storm Tracker, rolling through Cherokee Park as we speak. So that is what's going on right now. You saw it live firsthand. Let's go to some of your comments here. Paoli roads are a mess right now. That's according to Storm Chaser Jason Hamilton up there. Again, speaking of Orange County, still under the travel warning. If you don't have to be on the roads, don't. Here is Graham saying, go up through Hikes Point. I think he's talking to Mark. So Hikes Point. Curious to see what that looks like. Louisville and Indiana toll bridge not in good shape. Headlights on the tracker might be blinding the driver of the car just a little bit. Well, I mean, they're regular headlights, so there's no, and then we don't use the side lights when we're on the road, so shouldn't have been a problem there. Just a normal vehicle, but it's equipped with a bunch of technology. That's the great part about it. A steady stream of snow in the Portland area. Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that report. And you'll notice here's Kerry saying, does he ever drive into Indiana? Absolutely. We're in Indiana all the time. In fact, he just happened to be close to the station. So when he went out, we just sort of sent him in a circle, or he went in a circle. We didn't really send him anywhere until we asked him to go into the park. Let's see. This is not the season for Emily. I hate snow. Not your week here, that's for sure. Here's Trey saying, love the just chatting with the storm tracker. I do too. It's good to see what's actually happening, right? I mean, we sit behind this bank of, I got more buttons beside me right now. I can punch up anything in the country, from the wildfires in the west to the snow in Atlanta. But the fact is, as far as technology is concerned, if you're not in it, you don't really have a grasp of what it is. So that's why it's nice to check in. So I appreciate Mark being out there and willing to do it. He gave up part of his dinner break to go back out there. Here's Teresa saying, I just cleared 3 inches of snow off the truck. New Albany roads are not good. Still, meaning they haven't been good. 4.5 inches of snow down in Hodgenville, according to Chris. Appreciate that report. Sue talking about the sledders. The young people stay out all night. No, that could be true. That could be true. Nice hills in that park, talking about Cherokee Park. Absolutely. Fun park to be in. And here's some folks viewing from wherever you may be. Missing my Ville. There's Mac chiming in. Still snowing pretty decently over in Jeffersonville. Watching from McCreary County. A good 4 inches of snow. No school. Grandkids out playing in the snow. I have a feeling a lot of kids will be this weekend too. Here's, you should do more videos around Louisville. Well, maybe you want to see Mark instead of the radar. I'll punch up the storm tracker. There it is. You can see some of the side roads. That one, not so bad. I don't know if that's back toward Cherokee, Eastern Parkway, somewhere like that. Well, here, let's just ask. Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, just checking back in. Folks rather see you than anything I have to show. So, I'm just going to keep it back up. Tell me where you are. There's a car coming down that road. You went from a clear road to a terrible one.
Well, this one hits close to home. This is Norris Place. This is over by my house. I was going to drive on my street to show you guys. This is Norris, which a lot of people know because it goes right past Bellarmine. People that go to Bellarmine basketball, I live right by Bellarmine. So,
and by the way, sorry to interrupt you, but didn't they do a nice job clearing all that Bellarmine land up for the basketball game?
Yes, I saw Scotty Davenport's post. That was awesome for them. They got to get the fans in there. They're not doing so hot this year. But that's another story.
Right? Yeah. I'm not gonna. You don't look for me for sports. I'll just end it there. I just noticed the place was clear as a whistle.
So if people are familiar with Shenanigans, this is I live on this road. This is Deerwood right here up in the Highlands. And
you pretty much live at Shenanigans, don't you?
Yes, we're about 4 doors down. I'm not going to show you my actual house.
Yeah, I was actually being funny by saying you lived in the bar.
No, oh God, yeah. I don't really go here that much, which is strange. It's right here, but you can see a little bit. It's just really someone's calling me.
Yeah, they're like, please don't give our address out.
I told her to walk outside and say hi to the storm. But our road, you can see it's pretty similar scene. It's a lot of these cars are snowed in.
But don't you find that's part of the problem is when you're parked on both sides of the road? How does a plow even get through there?
It doesn't. I can tell you, we have not seen a single plow on our street all day. As I'm pulling up here, you can see these cars. Some of these haven't moved like all week. So yeah, the plow, you couldn't even fit a snow plow through here.
No, that's what I mean. So like,
it's only.
I think that's a big
It's
part of
just
the
the width.
problem is where people park.
Yes, and unfortunately, there's no. I don't know what to do about that. You know, you just got to get some other solution.
Yeah, I don't know if like everybody moved to the left side. You know, I mean, that they on some of the emergency snow routes. Clearly, if you're on one of those, you cannot park or you're not supposed to, and that allows the plows to get through. But I don't even know if there's a possibility that any or every road, in other words, could get plowed. We have too many. I mean, it would take forever.
Yes, it would take a long time, and I think that's why a lot of these roads end up looking like this, and just they can only do so much, you know.
Well, if this makes you feel better, Brian's chiming in saying Clarksville side roads are worse than what that road is.
Worse than this road?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Oh, I believe it.
So, all right. Well, Mark, listen, do your thing. Enjoy the evening. We'll let you go. I'll keep an eye on the feed. If we need to come back to you, we'll do so. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Kevin.
All right. Mark Wilson there in the Storm Tracker giving us a right up front view of what's happening all around Louisville here. Love the snow. Some winters we don't see any. So when we get it, I enjoy it. That's what Missy has to say about it. Didn't Louisville used to have signs that said, don't park here because it was a snow route? I still think there are snow routes that do have the signs. And here's another one, April chiming in saying, hey, Sellersburg's a mess too. We've got a lot of places that are a mess across the area. Here's one thing about it. We've been in New Albany today. Let me show you what those folks had to say about what it looked like over in New Albany.
I told her if the roads are not melted and free, I'm not going to let you drive. You know, it's as simple as that. Especially the bridge is ice over. It's dangerous. And now we're going to have new snow over the icy roads, and that scares me to death.
Yeah, and you can see those side roads. I mean, they're in bad shape too. And some of them haven't been touched either by plow or by salt. Going to take some time. Contractors have been busy. When you talk about getting that salt, getting the product that you need to help clear the roads.
To get trucks through the line, to get them reloaded. So we've been dealing with that. And fortunately, except for Monday, we haven't ran out of salt. So we've had trucks in and out all week. We've been open a lot of long hours, and we've tried to keep the trucks transporting salt in and out as much as possible.
No, they've been moving tons of it. Nature's Landscape Supply sponsors, by the way, for full transparency, of Brian's Snow Talk every day when you see it. So those guys have had a week.
Kind of trade off meeting times with movies and a little too much screen time and trying to get outdoors and enjoy the snow for sure. But it has been a difficult balance.
Yeah, and that's about the kids being at home. It's like, what do we do with all the kids? Where are we going? We can go to the Science Center. The zoo is open today. The park is open. I mean, you got to find things to do. You go stir crazy sitting around, right? So finding the things to do for the kids to get them out in front of a TV screen or a phone is not always easy. This parent did a nice job. Take them to the zoo. Take them to the many museums that we have across the area. All right, back here, we went through the weather. There's not a whole lot more. The snow is still with us, but it is easing, and that will lessen up. We've had over 2 inches of snow officially at the airport. Some places obviously chiming in with more than that. A lot of you are commenting. I'll put up some more of your comments here. Love the snow just as well, just not the ice. Yeah, I think we all say true to that. Sam Condra, when winter weather hits Wave Country, turn to the team you can count on. That reminds me of the commercial that used to be on. when the weather's at its worst, turn to the best. What they used to call it back when I was a kid, it was the Weather Authority with Tom Wills, John Belsky, and Craig Edwards. Love it. This takes me back. You know, these snow days take you back to when you were a kid, right? It's like, oh man, remember those days? Wake up, look outside. Is it snowing? Has it started yet? No school. I'm not going to do my mom be yelling. She was a teacher forever. She was my teacher. Yelling, have you finished your homework? Yeah, no. Banking on the snow, right? All right, let's see. Here we go. Ryan, been watching Brian's snow talks for about 7 years. They're the best. Yeah, you talk about a snow lover. Brian looks at every piece of data under the sun, especially in the snow season. So we always have a heads up when the next big weather maker is moving in that has the chance for snow. I'll tell you that. All right. Here's Anita saying there are only 2 vehicles on my street, so my road's almost impassable. My kids love the snow and making snow angels. That's always fun to do. Tom Wills would never let us get this much snow. Tom is a big snow lover too. And so was John. So back when the 3 of us were working, they always loved the snow. I'm fine with it. It's just a pain, to be honest. But Tom was always conservative in the snow forecast because 99% of the time, you're not going to wind up with as much as the models say you're going to get. Now, modeling has clearly changed since then. That was a little bit ago. So our forecasts are, you know, we have a little better data is what I'm trying to say now. So we don't always have to hedge our bet on being conservative. But if you were going to go one way or the other, the conservative route would be odds in your favor, right? So, all right, let's see here. I wanted to mention tomorrow. So while I've got the forecast up, let me show you. We still have a chance for some flurries and light snow showers tomorrow. Temperatures are going to stay upper 20s, low 30s. We start with temperatures in the 20s. So we're not going down a whole lot. Right now, we're running at 28 degrees. We'll go 27 tonight. So we drop a degree. Outlying areas, low 20s. High temperatures tomorrow, only going to push into the 30-degree category. That's it. So it is going to be a cool day, but not a overly cold day tomorrow. Our camera is coming back into shape. Kind of got snowed up. That one is over in Starlight, Indiana. I have it aimed down. You can see the piles of snow. They get out there. They shovel that snow off their parking lots. You talk about good old farm people, the Hubers. And God rest Carl Huber, soul. He just passed away on January 4th, one of the owners of Huber's Orchard Winery. We've known those folks, both Greg and Ted, up there for as long as I've worked here at Wave. And we have our camera there, obviously. So we've been thinking about you guys. You'll notice the snow's still coming down in Simpsonville. So we've still got snow falling. We'll just jump back to some of your questions here. When Ken Schultz left the other stations, Sandra switched to Wave 3. Y'all are the best. Thank you. We appreciate that. Wave 3 is who you trust with all the weather needs. Thank you. We appreciate that. I'm not just, I picked the last few here. Danny. I should read these before I punch them. Danny, Kevin, and John's duet of snow on the ground. Yeah, it's on the internet. Just Google it. Anything above freezing temps is a good day from here on out. Well, maybe I'll show you that. The 10-day. I'll tell you what, let me get that queued up. Hang here a second. I'm going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I'll have more on Monday, followed by another Arctic push of air. All right? Stay with us. back with you here with the update that will take us past the weekend. Again, our SkyTrack camera is showing that fresh coating of snow across the area. We get past the weekend and into Monday. There's another quick hitting system. This is another Arctic front that will be moving in. And it doesn't matter that we don't have a ton of moisture in the atmosphere. That cold Arctic air compresses, squeezes out what moisture is available. That could give us a coating. This is not a big deal in terms of amounts, but it could still cause a few problems. And it's going to move in on Monday. Light snow showers, minor amounts. I think the bigger story will be the cold that comes in behind that front. And check it out. We're talking highs by Tuesday, 20 degrees. That means morning lows are even colder. Take a look at the 10-day. 8. That's 8. We didn't miss a digit. 8 Thursday morning. Whew. That's chilly, isn't it? So that's what we have in store looking toward the middle part of next week. And then we get into that weekend just ahead of MLK Jr. Day, where we actually warm it up a bit. 40 would be nice. That would melt, especially if we have some rain. But will it be rain or will it be snow? Well, right now we're saying rain to snow, question mark. Once you get that far out in a 10-day forecast, there's a lot of unknown. We'll see how that works out, all right? Hang in there. That is the 10-day. Well, we're going to wrap this up. We're coming up. We've been on almost an hour here. We'll check back in with the storm tracker before we go. Mark Wilson's on board there. We've got some folks jumping in. Stop. Tell me there's hope these kids go to school. They miss it. What a wild winter we are having. Well, I'll tell you, we certainly haven't had one like this in a while. Kind of fun, isn't it? At least for the first couple of hours. I don't know about day, what is this, 9 or 10? Yeah. Ooh, I'm with you. All right. The kids are getting stir crazy, and so are the meteorologists. Yeah, 40 does seem like a heat wave. Felicia saying, thank you for keeping us informed and safe. Appreciate that. Kristen is saying, do we know what the snow totals were from today? Seems like we got a ton more than I thought. Well, actually, when you look at Louisville's totals, what they cranked out, I'll pop it up. This was at the top of the 7 o'clock hour, and we haven't had a lot since then, but it was 2.1. So lower than really what we had forecast. But by the time all is said and done, we'll get close to that 3, I think. So it won't be too far off that 3 to 5 inch range across the area. Again, most of these totals were taken from that 6 to 7 o'clock time frame. So we have added some to the totals that we have here. All right. So that's where we are. All right. Well, before we go, let's jump back to the storm tracker. I've got Mark Wilson. He's been with us giving his time this evening. And punch Mark back up here. University of Louisville. There goes a snow plow. Good to see with some salt on the back. Oh, is that the can opener, Mark?
No, this is the Arthur Street. Or no, what is this? It's not the can opener. University Boulevard.
All right, I got you. The can openers where all those trucks go through, rips the top of them right off because it sits so low. Well, you're jumping back onto the interstate, huh?
Yeah, I'm heading back down towards the station. This is 65. And
okay.
You can see people are moving pretty quick here.
Yeah, the road looks just wet, which we'd anticipate, right?
Yeah, and it's not really snow covered at all because it's been rain at this point.
Yeah, and again, what light snow is falling is just melting as it hits the ground, so should have little to no problem or a continued impact as that light snow continues to fall across the area there.
You can see this fog and you can't even see the skyline. It's just coming down, kind of hazy with all the snow.
Yeah, and it probably with that cold ground coming in, obviously precip falling, we do have a little bit of fog out there. And then you just have to watch the sides and really the other drivers. I mean, we saw this time and again. Some folks get a little too confident, not that the roads are slick, but if you hit any type of patch that could be on the road, not necessarily the interstate, but especially some of the 2, 3, 4 lane highways where you still have a little bit of snow in maybe one of the lanes, you hit that too fast, it can trip you up pretty quick.
Yeah, and there's a lot of spray coming off these trucks and cars, and just you really got to keep your distance and just do everything you were taught in driving school. Just be extra safe. That's what I tell people.
You know, and I see I've kept this comment up. Sorry, I'll take that down, Kristen. Appreciate that. One thing that I ran out of one time that was a critical mistake, and it's not because, I mean, you just sometimes don't know it because you don't know how low it is, but it's that washer fluid.
Yes.
And what a problem that is.
I think sometimes it can even freeze in your car if your car sits for a few days or like really cold temperatures.
Now I'm looking.
Pipes themselves will freeze up.
I'm looking at the ramps and the bridges and overpasses. While our temperature is 28, 29 degrees, and that's not very problematic, the ramps and the elevated surfaces, you hear us talk about it all the time. At 28 degrees, those can still be a problem. And I see is that another salt truck going down or getting ready to go up onto the interstate?
Yes, that is a snowplow climbing up onto the highway.
Okay. So the state is
like
out.
Metro, or that would, yes, that'd be KYTC.
Right. So, and then you're turning onto Floyd. Of course, we're on Floyd and Broadway. And that road is in decent shape, but you can see the snow piled up on the side, still not the best. I mean, I'll be curious to see how this weekend unfolds. A lot of work has to get done, and the Mother Nature is not helping out a whole lot this weekend with bright sunshine and overly warm temperatures. So to get these side roads cleared before Monday, I don't know about that.
I don't know. That's a tall order. They would really have to start now because school buses and all that. This could be a mess still.
Yeah, I mean, it is a mess, and I just don't see it getting a whole lot better with the help of Mother Nature. So, and I, frankly, you know, there's not a whole lot a plow can do with that road you're on. You just have to dump a bunch of salt on it and hope it melts so a plow can then come in and chunk it up.
They might be better off trying to go around with heaters warming up the road. But I don't know.
Let's all get those torches, you know, just go out. Don't do that. Somebody will do that now that I said it. Don't do that.
Oh, no. We're going to get it. You'll get a video of it later.
All right. Well, I'm about to see you. You're about ready to pull in the back of the building here. And our parking lot, while it's been plowed, it's still a struggle to get through.
Hey, the Wave engineers, shout out to them. They have done a great job. They were out there with the snowplow and the small snowplow. So the Wave lot is looking good. It's a little covered now since it snowed. But.
Yeah, you know, good point, because we talked about the weather team being here. But, you know, when we're in a winter storm like this, a lot of the station is here. I mean, you've got all the producers, you've got the reporters, you've got the engineers, you've got the production folks, all the technical directors and people that have to get us on the air. So it takes a village. There's the beautiful, I call it the tin can, but there's a big.
The station?
Yeah. But there it is.
You can see half of this little street's cleared, so that's good.
Yeah, so clearly they've put down some salt and ran a plow down it. And then, of course, you get into the parking lot. And
we're a little covered here. They might need to run another pass over there.
How much snow do you think we got? I guessed in the weather garden when I was out there about 3, just shy of 3.
Yeah, this looks like 3 or 4 in this lot. I'm not sure. And we have a pretty skinny parking lot, so you kind of got to be careful.
Well, that's what I was saying. I about wiped out the back end of Christy's van earlier. I was like, oh, goodness. Anyway, all right. Well, listen, Mark Wilson, thank you so much. I say thank you, and so do the thousands of people watching us on the live stream here.
No problem. I enjoy it. It's fun to cover big events.
Yeah,
so
I'm glad you didn't wreck my storm tracker.
It needs a bath. I'll tell you that much.
I know. That's a running joke. I went into the garage the other day. They were fixing the plow. The storm tracker was in there. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this thing. It's a mess. Of course, it was still snowing and the roads were a wreck. And they're like, you always want this thing spotless. It can't be spot. I was like, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'd say in about March we can clean it.
No.
Once
It's
we
going to
get
happen
spring.
before then. All right.
The salt will degrade it.
Yeah, true. Mark Wilson, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Always appreciate Mark and what he does. He's a big weather fanatic, just like the rest of us on the Wave storm tracking team. All right. Listen, we've been chatting for an hour and 5 minutes here. We've gone through the snow totals that we have. I'll have more at 11 o'clock for you. Our snowfall forecast was pretty close to where we thought, between that 3 and 5 inch mark. And the roads are, the treated roads are okay for the most part. The ones that have not been treated and the ones that were still snow covered before are obviously in rough shape. So you're going to have to give yourself a little extra time. I'm not sure the weekend's going to offer a whole lot of help in terms of clearing them. We will see slightly warmer temperatures, which will help. Don't think we see a whole lot of sunshine. But without the addition of very bitterly cold temperatures and any additional snow, I think we're in at least somewhat better shape to start that thawing process. And it will be a process. I'm not sure it's completed by Monday. We'll see how that works out. In the meantime, I appreciate everybody jumping on. And I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll see you back on Wave News at 11 o'clock. We'll have a full weather update then, snow totals, and then, of course, the reporting team will be out showing you what it's like and what to expect this weekend. Hope everybody has a great evening and be safe, all right? Good night, everybody.